Hello, hello, hello. Oh, let's have a looky. Let's get you on here. Did I just see myself then? Yes, I did. That's weird. Right. Sure. Stick that there where I can see it. Hello, hello, hello. I'll just give it a minute or two and then I'll get going. Hi, Margaret. Hi, good to see you. I'll just have a little drink. Oh, and I'll get some lighting on actually. I've got my another light that's quite right, so we'll get that on. Oh, that's better. Get that in there. Hi Liz, hi Jane, hi Vicky, hi Ali. I'm just putting a bit more light on and then I'll get going. A bit more light, and I've got to make sure I put it where I can get to everything else. Right. Hopefully that should be quite a nice level of brightness. Right, so there we go. Well, today I'm going to do a little mix of things. And I'm going to be using some of Marlene's stuff to do a little tag, which is part of a little album that I'm making. So we'll be doing a little bit of jelly printing and a little bit of stenciling, and yeah, I thought that might be fun. So, and there's a little bit of stitch work in there as well. So I'll just pop that one over to one side. So this is the main kit that is available at the moment, which is quite cool. And I'll just show you what's in there quickly. You get a stack of these, you know, so many I can't get them all out actually. You get a real stack. Hi Yvonne, hi. You get a stack of these tags, which are on a really nice cardstock. You get enough rings to do 2 books if you're doing the 3 holes. Oh, I didn't want to do that, did I? But we're okay. It's okay. And then you get these 4 different edges. So you can see that I've used that edge there. So you take your tag and you decide if you would like a different edge on the bottom, and there are 4 different ones to choose from, so that's quite fun. So I've been using the dies from that, but also there is a separate book, the tags from this, but again it's a ton of these really sturdy tags, so you can be making tag books for days. Right, let's put that out of the way. So I'm going to start off by doing my die cutting, which I've already done, so you don't have to wait for me to do that. Hang on. And hi Sarah. So I've put my edging on there. Now what I've done, and you can do this with any letter set that's got these the shadow elements, or you can use, I sometimes do this effect with my I'm trying to think what it's called, a Cricut machine, because essentially what we're doing is we're going to cut the smaller letter out of the main piece, and then we'll cut the shadow to put back in there, and it gives it, hi Marcia, it gives a really nice effect, I think, and I quite like effect with other cards or pages that I do say a floral or stamped element, and then I'll do this exact same effect that I'm doing here, but I'll do it across my floral or whatever. Did you see my palm? I've got to thank Maria Scrap Hamster for the inspiration to, or the idea to make these pom-pom dangles. She's got a lovely video on Instagram at the moment, and she's hugely talented anyway. She's amazing, and she comes up with these just fantastic ideas, and the pom-pom dangle is her idea. Hi Kriya, hi Linda. And I got these lovely beads from my lovely friend Liz, so so between them we've got, that's where my dangle came from. So anyway, as I was saying, sorry, the lettering is always done with a shadow. So you're cutting with the smaller letter into your main piece, and then you use a different colour for your shadow and replace it back. So you can see on the back of here, I haven't covered the back, so you can see I've cut the smaller letters out, but then I put the shadow in behind, and it looks really good if you do that with a floral or something like that as well. It looks really, you know, because you can place the pieces back in, and it's a really funky little look. So I used these letters, which are a Studio Light one called Stencil SL390, and they've got the shadow with them, the shadow dies, so that you can do this effect. So you can see I've cut out my letters, and I've cut out my border there, and I've just popped a little bit of washi tape across the back of my letters because I want to hold them in place while I'm colouring this paper and doing different things to this paper. I want them to stay in place. I don't want them to come out until I'm ready for them to come out. So I'm going to start off by preparing my jelly plate. Now this is a fabulous little gel press, and it's 3 by 5, so it's quite a nice little size. Oh, thanks Liz, thank you, that's brilliant. So I'm just going to peel that off there, and we are ready to go with the gel press. And the reason I'm doing this now is because I want some of the acrylic paint to dry on my gel press before I put my final layer on. So if I start it now, I can pop it to one side just for a minute or two while I do my other stenciling, and that'll allow it enough time to dry and be ready for taking the next steps. So let's pop that on there. Just tiny blobs of paint. And that's just that's Deco Art paint, Royal Fuchsia, and Paper Artsy Scottish Salmon. I'm just gonna roll those on there and grab a little piece of could really do with a flat surface for this, but we'll make it work. It's a really handy size, Marcia. It's really handy. I really like it, I've got to say. Right, and then I'm going to take that bit there, and I'm going to get another piece of scrap paper for this, actually. There we go. This is just copier paper that I'm popping on here. Hi, Angela. Hi. Oh, there's no such thing as late. Though our pom-poms are coming back in a big way. They are coming back in a big way. They are just so awesome. And, well, Liz has got a pom-pom problem at the moment. She can't stop making them, but I can't blame her. Right, so that's my scratch paper, but I'm going to keep that because I'll use that for something else, and I'll show you the something else as we do a little bit more here. So I'll take that off, and I want that just to dry just a wee bit before I add more colour. So I'm just going to give that a little flapperoo. Oh, your big, oh, it's such a fab set. It really is. It's, you know, there's so much in there and so much to do. They are fluffy, Liz. They are fluffy. I'm just going to check that's dry enough. Yeah, that's dry enough. So we'll pop a little bit more paint on here. Oh, I need some more bright green paint. Of your mum, Marcia. Oh, I can remember making loads of pom-poms when I was younger and doing all kinds of things with them. But no, they're definitely back. Right, so there we go. And pop that to one side and get my scratch paper. This is my squeaky brayer. There we go. And I'm gonna just pop another stencil on now. That one like that. And I'm going to try and get it in a similar place. Oh, are you doing the, oh, so nice. Are you doing the 13 Arts shows? Like, that's just the, this is just what I'm taking off here, but I'm going to save this because I'll show you what I'm using them for as we progress. But let's take that off there. Right, now I want that just to dry off a bit before I put the last layer of paint on. So I'm just going to pop it to one side out the way, and I'm going to start just working through my stencil with some of the paints. So I'm going to take this. Now, one of the things I quite like doing with my paints is I'm going to put the two colours, I'm just checking you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, you can. I'm putting a little bit of the light green and a little bit of the dark green here. It might be a little bit much, but we can work around that. And then I'm just taking a bit of both and I'll be able to use, I just want to lift that up a tad there. Yeah, that's good. And I'm just gently using my sponge. This is cut and dry sponge, which I really like using. Everybody's got their own preferences to that sort of thing, but I like to just have the two colours going on my sponge because I think it just really adds a little bit of interest that you don't get if you just use the one colour. So I'm just stenciling there, like so, and then I'm going to add some pink and yellow and stencil with these. And these are the colours that I've been using on the other tag as well. Oh, it's so gorgeous. The flexible mats are from That's Crafty, Kriya Jane. They're from That's Crafty and they're absolutely brilliant. They're made of silicone and you can chuck them in the dishwasher. You can do what you like with them. They're really, really good. But they're on the That's Crafty website. I don't know if Liz is around. She might chuck a link on for you. Lovely, lovely. Right, so again, I've got the two colours. And that's a little bit blobby on there. So we'll get that. And then I'm just pushing this through the stencil. I'm not going too mad with it. I'm just pushing it through. Oh, thanks, Liz. There we go. So I think that will do with that. And then I'm going to use some of these little dots as well because I do like a dot. And because there's a bit less paint and things on here, I can push through a little bit harder. A bit more pink coming through. And I'm not too worried if it goes over the lines or anything like that because we're going to do a few more things with this, so it's not the end of the world if anything like that happens. That's the nice thing about these types of techniques, is if you get a little there, I love these colours, and yeah, they're really worth having. They're really handy. Let's get a little bit more pink going on there. Want more obvious pink. And here. And then what I'm going to do now is just with what I've got left on my sponge, I'm not adding any more. I'm just using what I've got left, and I'm going to rub gently into the edges. I'm not worried about the middle because we're going to do the jelly plate in the middle, so I'm not really bothered about putting anything there. There we go. Yeah, the silicone's great with beads. It yeah, it does keep them all in one place. There we go. What paints are these? I'm using a mixture. I've got some are Amsterdam acrylic, and I've got Paper Artsy Scottish Salmon, and Deco Art Royal Fuchsia and Arteza Prussian Green. So I've got a right mix going on, yeah. So, and that was Azo Yellow Medium and yellowish green. Yeah, I love the yellowish green. That's one of my favourite colours. I'm trying to find something similar to it in other brands, but I haven't yet. Right, so I've just brought that in. There we go. So we're now left with that. Get the sponges out of the way. So I'm going to pop that to the side, and I'm going to pull back my, that's my my jelly plate from earlier, my nice little dinky one. Oh, they're so much fun, Marcia. They're so much fun. Right, so now I need to put a background on this, and I think I'm going to go with the green again. Might need a little bit more. There we go. I'm just putting green on its own, I think. Like this now. There we go. Lovely, that's ready to go. And I'll just get rid of the excess. Right, so now I can, this is the thing I like about these little gel plates, is I can now put this over my work like a stamp, and I can line it up and put it exactly where I want to put it. So there we go. I've got that exactly where I want to put it. I can flip it over so I can just give it a nice press down. There we go. Some of the ink is just not the ink, the paint is coming through, but that's fine. There we go. And let's pull. There we go. So that's my little gel press impression. There we go. So I'm going to get that out of the way now. Pop that up there. And I'm going to get my mat out of the way now because I don't need that for the time being. So the next thing I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to pop these letters out so that we can put them how we want them. So I'm just going to take this tape off the back, and don't worry about the back of these tags being a mess. You can gesso over them, of course, but what I've done is I've the piece of paper that I was using for the last gel press I did, I've just drawn around it and cut a piece, so I'll be able to stick this on the back of this tag so I can cover up all of my bits and bobs with that piece of paper and then do some designs on there. So it's, you know, you don't worry about bits and bobs showing on one side because there's always a way to cover them up. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to grab my little bits that I've got here waiting. So I've got the shadows. Let me just find, do you know, I put things in handy places because I think, well, I'll put that where I can grab it. And do you think I can find them when I do that? Can I heck? Oh, there it is. Right, I've got a glue pen here that I'm going to use to do this. So I'm just going around the edge because there's no point going in the middle because there's a hole in the middle. So there we go. Let's pop the J on there. And then I can take this letter J that I've cut, that's got the gel press on it because it was inside. The reason I cut it before I gel press it is because sometimes the acrylic can be a little bit sticky, and so when you die cut it, it can be quite difficult to take it out of the dies, and sometimes it can get stuck to your plates and things like that, and you can end up with little pieces ripping. And so rather than go through all that palaver, I just cut it before I gel press it or put any paint on it, because it's just a far easier thing to do. So there we go, there's that O in place. Hi Diane, hi. That rabbit pattern looks adorable. I don't very often buy magazines, but I might have to get that one so that I can get that pattern, because it just looks so cute. And I'm just having a look to see if I've got that the right way up. I think it's that way. I say the right way up because I'm kind of looking at where the lines are going in the background, so it sort of lines up a little bit because I quite like that look. And obviously when you do it, if you do this with like a floral or another pattern, if you line it up when you put it back in, it looks great. It's a really effective little trick. Oh, I've done me Y before I've done the shadow. Let me do that quickly. There we go, a little bit of that. So I'll stick that there. And I've also got a little hole protector that I cut already, so I'll stick that in place as well, because I can. So there we go so far. Now there's the lovely books, the little elements books, and you can see on this one, I just, these two little pieces and this little piece here, so there's three little pieces that I just popped out of this book and popped them on here, and I'm going to do a similar thing here. I think I'm going to just have a little gander. Oh, actually, I quite like the idea of that. Yes, I do. So I'm going to do that. Now, with these books, what you'll find is you sometimes get little pips of paper, and that's because you don't want, I mean, they would all just fall out if they didn't have some form of fastening. So that's all that is, and I just use my sanding block. So I keep my sanding block for sort of, you can see I use it for my pens and things like that if they're not working properly. So it's always handy to have one on your desk. There we go. And I'll use some of this glue because it's here. That's it. Pop that down there. then I'm gonna add some stitching probably. I think we'll put that there as well. Right, now for this stitching, you can do it in whatever way you like, really, can't you? I've used for the sample, I used a doofer, one of these. I don't know what it's called, so and so. I think We Are Memory Keepers, and it makes the holes for you, which is jolly handy. Sometimes I use I've got the Tim Holtz ruler that's got holes in, which I'll show you now, and that can be really handy. But to be honest, you can just use you can use any ruler. It doesn't really have to be any particular kind. Won't be the first one. Yeah, these Tim Holtz rulers, there is a row of dots all the way along there that you can just go through with your pokey tool. But you don't need that. You can just, a ruler is a good idea. I'm just going to see if I've got a smaller one, because it'll be easier to. Right, there we go. So if I'm just using a standard ruler, no fancy schmancy, and I'm just using my pokey tool, and I'm just going to do every ½ centimetre along here. That's all I'm doing, is every ½ centimetre. So here we go, nothing fancy, just poking holes. In my paper. There we go. I think I'll leave it with that, and I can get a bit of thread. Hi Vicky, hi Jane. Oh, I thought I'd said hello to you already. That's strange, isn't it? I've got a different level of feed. I've got, if I look on one, it's a lot further forward than the other, so that's funny. It's a bit strange. Right, I'm just looking here to see if that pink will, yeah, that will go nicely. So just thread my needle, and I'm not worried about putting knots or anything in it, because I'll just stick it with a bit of washi tape. So I'll go through there, and then grab a little bit of washi tape, which I've got tons of kicking around all over the shop, so I'm sure most people have. There's always a bit of washi tape somewhere. There we go. And you don't need to leave a big tail with it. Now, like I said before, I'm not worried about the back of my work, because I'm going to cover it up. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic, Marcia. Oh, she's on the move. Oh, lots of fun to be had. Lots of fun to be had. So anyway, yeah, like I said, I'm not worried about the back of this, because I'll be cutting another piece of paper that will cover all of these sort of workings. So I'm not worried about that. So I'm just going to do a quick stitch across here, and I'm not too worried about this. Now, if you like this sort of thing, there is a challenge for the whole of April, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I'm going to be able to do it every day, and I'm going to film it in the That's Crafty Creatives group. I'm going to do a live and every day I'll be doing my journal page. So if you like stencils and gel presses and all this kind of thing, that's what I'll be doing. So if you want to join me, that would be lovely. If not, the videos will be available there, and because I'll probably be doing them quite early morning, but yeah, it's going to be a fun challenge, and if you want to join me, that would be fab. Oh, thank you, thank you. There we go. So, and I'll probably do a couple of rows of stitching on this, but I'll stick with the one for today. There we go, nearly done. Bear with me. Oh gosh, if I say that one more time. Oh, now this is, I've come out here. Now obviously I don't want to end there, so I'm just going to take my ruler and measure 1/2 centimetre. Now I'm doing this because I can be quite clumsy at times, and I know if I don't do this with my ruler, when I do it, I won't be happy with the finished line. So there we go. So I've finished it off like that, and I've got some tape on my hand I can use. So I'll just snip that off. There we go, and a bit more tape there. And then I can add this one. Oh, have a lovely walk, Margaret. Have a lovely walk. I can add this one. And you haven't, I've nearly finished now, so you won't have missed much. So there we go. You can see that one goes there. And so my next one will be a little bit shorter again, and so on and so forth. Of course, I believe it, Diane. Of course, I believe it. I just want to see it. So there we go. That's where I'm at so far with my little booklet, and I think, you know, I can see I'm going to be making lots and lots and lots of these, but I think I'll probably do a few more pages on this one, and then it'll be time for another one. So I hope you enjoyed that. It's been my absolute pleasure to be here, and I look forward to next time. And like I said, starting on the 1st, I'll be doing a daily journal page, so you'll be able to catch that if you want to see a daily journal page. Obviously, if you don't. But if you do, it'd be lovely to see you. And if you want to join in the challenge with me, that would be awesome. So anyway, thank you very much, and see you next week. Thank you. Thanks. Bye bye.